Hi, welcome to another episode of Time Out with Gabii. With me here is Tia Deville. How are you
Hi.
feeling today?
Great. How about yourself, Gabby?
Great. I'm so happy you're on my show today.
I know, right?
It's been I think I've known you for a few weeks and it's been great. I mean I've known you for a few weeks, but I've like seen your performance like months before I started talking to you. But yeah, it's great to have you here once again.
I'm just glad to be here.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. It's Friday,
Right?
or
It's sunny.
right? It's sunny. It's beautiful. We're gonna talk about shit.
Right? Can you so I know your family is very supportive of you.
Yes.
Um, can you walk us back to when you were a child and how you came out to them and how they accepted the news and how you became this married drag queen? Oh my god.
How I became the swervy curvy performer,
Right?
Tia DeVille.
Performer.
That's actually it's a good question, and it's kind of an interesting story. Kind of goes back to
Yeah.
growing up in Fort McMurray.
Oh real.
Yes, grew up in Fort McMurray. Yeah, both my parents are from Portugal. I was born in Portugal. 6-month-old Tia got brought
Okay.
to Fort Mac, and I stayed there until I finished school in college, and I even worked a year, and then finally I moved to Edmonton because I was just over Fort Mac
What
life.
work did you do there? Oil and gas?
No, actually, oh my gosh.
I used to work in Fulmer.
Okay, if you're from Alberta and you haven't worked in Fort McMurray, are you even in Alberta?
Exactly.
Like, come on, that and Grand Prairie. Those are the two
True,
places.
yeah.
I'll be honest. But yeah, no, I'm a registered nurse,
Yeah, I know that.
right? So,
Slay.
oh, yeah, I worked in the ICU up there. So I did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've seen some fun stuff and some not some fun stuff. But back to the initial question.
Right, we'll get back to
My
that.
supportive family. Yeah, no. I was 19 at the time. I had just broken up with a girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, no gold star here. Uh, and at the time, I was kind of questioning myself. It was in the summer, so I told my mom I was maybe bi, because that's a little gateway drug
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
And then a few months went away. I tried dating a guy. He totally ghosted me. So then
Grinder. This
right?
city is full of that shit.
No, that was
But
like back in the that wasn't even grinder days. That was like back in like the manhunt. You
oh,
know, plenty of fish.
right? In the ocean.
That's right. And there was not very many fish in the sea, that's for sure. So yeah, I ended up going back and dating that same girl that I just broke up with for a whole month, and decided while dating her that I just couldn't do it anymore. And I kind of came up to my mom saying, "You know what, mom? Like, I'm actually gay." And and again, we both kind of had this impression from my dad that if he found out that I was gay, that he would disown both my mom and
Oh
myself.
my god, yeah.
So literally, we had 24 hours of kind of this internal turmoil between my mom and I of just like, how are we going to tell my dad? And I remember I was in class doing one of my nursing courses, and I got a phone call from my mom during her lunch break, and she literally just told me that she couldn't stop crying,
Oh
just
my
thinking
god.
about
Yeah.
how she didn't tell my dad. So we got my dad to come home. We were all kind of did a little family meeting, and when I told my dad that I was gay, he actually looked at me and said, "What? That's it? You're not pregnant? Like you didn't get someone? Oh, didn't get someone pregnant?" And I'm like, "No." And then he just went back to work.
Oh my god, I want to cry.
So finally, we had more of a discussion later, and classic, protective father. He just wanted to make sure that I was safe, especially living up in Fort McMurray. He wanted to make sure that I got through my schooling, and that my priorities were the right ones.
Said, yeah.
Yeah. With that being said, like, again, Fort Mac, you don't really know many other gay people. My parents didn't know any gay people, maybe one, and they were just like the classic flaming homo.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they kind of opened up a little bit more, and were very much willing to meet my new friends who were gay and out, and kind of, I think once they found out that there were like kind of these like normal average gay people,
Yeah.
right, that they kind of saw a little bit more light for me. And then yeah, then when Tia DeVille happened, it was kind of just like immediate like support. I'll be brutally honest, they were just so gung ho about it.
So how did that bridge come? Like, so you moved to Edmonton?
Yes.
Did you come to get a job here? And what age did you move here? Like, how long did it take
We're
from you coming
getting
out?
deep. Okay.
Right? We have to go deep in this show.
All right. Didn't even lube me up first or anything. Okay.
No script.
So I was, oh gosh, now I have to do some math. So I think I was 23 at the time. And I actually always knew I was moving to Edmonton. At the time, I was dating my now husband. We did long distance from Fort Mac in Edmonton.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, God have mercy. I'm tired.
Like I said, there was no fish up in the sea up there. So I,
How did you guys meet? Like,
grinder,
okay.
obviously.
Really?
Oh,
And I always
100%.
block. I tell them like, "You're far. I don't want to talk to you."
Oh no, he was actually up in Fort McMurray for work. Yeah, I
Oh.
slid into his DM, said, "Hey, what's up?" His response was, "Hi, Tiago." And I'm like, "How do you know my name?" I found out after the fact that I was actually dating a boy that he was dating at the same time. I know, it's literally insane.
Grind your life.
100%. So literally, I was like, "Here's my phone number. We need to talk about this right now." Because the last time I had talked to this guy was almost like 3 months before. Because again, ghosted me. Yeah, I. Long story short, I went out of the country, and during that few days, he just stopped talking to me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I gave him my phone number. We started talking on the phone. Found out that like I didn't even know about Jared. Jared only knew about me because of Facebook, as I made a post with this gentleman. Um, and yeah, next thing you know, I'm like, "Hey, tomorrow let's like meet up. Let's have a conversation. Let's like let's figure this shit out together. Like who the
Yeah.
fuck, who is this asshole, and like why did he hurt us both?" And yeah, we literally just like met at a Boston Pizza, had our phones out, showing each other like messages, and like when he ghosted us, how how we were worried about him. And my Jarrett literally messaged the guy and was just like, "Guess who I'm hanging out with? It's Tiago, also Tia DeVille." And boom, he said that I was crazy, that I was in love with him, that I did all this crazy shit, and no word of lie. I'm like, you can read our messages,
Right.
right? Like it's all right here. And yeah, so to be honest, and both him and I were like, "Hey, fuck you." And yeah, that was basically it. We just could not stop talking and hanging out, and married now for 5 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
I've been me and my fellow singles very soon. so so did you move to Edmonton because of the love life, or did you move to Edmonton for work?
Both. To be brutally honest, I went into nursing because I wanted a profession that got me out of Fort McMurray.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Like I just
Motivation.
wanted out. Like oil and gas, I should have stayed because I would probably be like fucking millionaire by
Rich,
now.
right?
100%.
5 years ago.
Yeah, right. Like I would be so goddamn rich. But no, I just wanted out. So I had lined up an interview working in the ICU here at the Royal Alexandra Hospital.
What year was that?
Um, 24. Look at my math, which is my watch, which is not a calculator. You know what? I think it's almost 7 years ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I lined up this interview, started a new position ready. It was like a Wednesday. I want to say it was May 6th. You can Google this. Fort McMurray fires happened.
Oh.
And we had to evacuate the entire town, evacuate the hospital. And that was my last day in the hospital, was actually evacuating the ICU there.
So did they like transfer you, or you already got this job in?
Already had it lined up. Like
Oh,
literally, I was
nice.
starting on that Monday.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that Wednesday, literally, I told my mom, like, pack me some scrubs, pack me my computer, pack me my passport and stuff. Like, I'll see you in Edmonton at some point whenever I get there.
Yeah.
And yeah, worked a whole 24-hour shift. Made like a makeshift triage center in a airport hangar out in Firebag. Yeah, it was really intense, especially for like after just being a nurse for like 1 full year and having all this happen. But then I started my new job and got to live with my husband. Well, boyfriend at the time. So
I mean, that's a brave thing to do, like moving in with someone you've been I mean, like you really trusted him and he trusted you, and you just moved in together. Like,
Oh
was
yeah.
that scary or no?
Okay, no word of a lie. The summer before, I got a temporary job at the Misericordia, so we did a trial run.
Okay.
I was there from like June to September, and we did live together for a bit. And I think that was kind of like the push of saying like, okay, we can
Yeah.
do this, because up until then I just lived with my parents, right? And anyone can live with their parents,
True.
mostly. I mean, they're kind of crazy sometimes, but
I'm so happy for you.
thank you.
What's it called? So we're gonna get back to the triage to talk
Yes.
about how Tia Deville came about. How did you get your Deville name?
How did I get the DeVille name? Well, for starters, I've always been told that I'm a trickster. And
Okay.
I'm like, who's the biggest trickster of them all? Obviously, the
Deville.
devil,
Yeah.
right? Um, but I didn't want to be Tia Devil. That's not cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I kind of, I really do like Cruella Deville, her black and white
Yeah.
esque, that stoicism, that kind
So
of
wearing black and
extraness. I'm
white.
wearing black and white with a little touch of red branding. But yeah, no, it was just kind of just made sense in that way. And then Tia, like, kind of was a mix of two things. One, my name is Tiago, so literally I just took off half my name, and there's Tia. And the second half of Tia actually means aunt in Portuguese.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. So I kind of just always perceive myself as just kind of like your fun, slutty aunt who just
I
wants to
mean,
have a good
that's who you
time,
are.
right? I think so too. Yeah. So I don't know, just it just really just sat well with me.
What year did you start drag?
I started
And what
drag.
motivated you to go into drag? Yeah.
Yeah, so 2021 during the pandemic
Oh,
was my
really?
big push. Yeah, the year before I started just painting my face just like Hot Mess Express. And then finally, it was a court show. They were doing an online show for the Queen of Hearts. And I kind of was just like, let's just do it. Let's just try. And it was so stressful. I think my husband thought about divorcing me. I'll be brutally honest.
Was that so? Your debut was a competition?
It was,
Oh
yeah.
my god, that
I
was. It's a lot.
it was a competition. I fucking bought a green screen and everything. Like it was a full meal deal, and
Oh, from your
I
house.
literally did it from my house.
Oh my god, that's a lot.
Yeah, so it was it's like one of those times where if I could do it all over again, I would love to,
Yeah.
because like I feel like I just didn't have fun with it. But I think it's a mix of being a competition, debuting, and then
Yeah,
I
all those pressure come together. Yeah,
100%. And as a person who always has like high expectations for myself, and I do the same thing with Tia, it just it was kind of hard to just enjoy the moment,
yeah.
just perform and just have fun with
Did
it.
you win?
No, I did not fucking
Okay.
win.
I get it.
I did not. Selena Katina took my spot.
Okay,
I
honey.
I might have said it was Riggery, but she did a great Selena combo mix. It was
Okay.
so I can't blame her, but I just blame myself.
It is what it is. I mean, like, we all learn from our past, right?
Yes.
I also was in the last pageant and I didn't win. So I feel you. Because, firstly, you have to make a dress. If I had known that you can buy a dress, I would have just gone to Fashion Nova or something,
Mm-hmm.
get a dress, paint my face, and show up. And yeah,
Is that a
the
requirement? You have to make your outfit?
yeah.
Damn, girl.
But then the winner did their thing, so congratulations. And that was my first competition. And the reason why I got into it was because I needed a gig at the time. So,
Okay. You're like, hey,
right, I was like,
you're
hi, I
welcome.
just want to be on a show, right?
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be a competition.
Okay, wait. So that was your debut as a pageantita.
No, no, that wasn't my debut. My
Okay.
debut was like a few months ago, like somewhere else. That would be like if that was my debut, I would have quit drag because I don't handle those well, right? But like
Yeah.
that also like humbled me to like know that you can be great, but then things happen. So
There's so much out of our control, right?
exactly,
And at the end of the day, all we have is, like, to be honest, like how we perceive ourselves
and growth, yeah,
and grow from it. One of the things I always try to tell myself is like just stay kind to myself, because I can always be kind and considerate to others, but like can you ever do it to yourself?
Exactly.
Right. So trying to internalize that. Thanks, therapist.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's and those competitions just kind of brings sometimes the bad parts of you out, right?
Yeah.
But then
Yeah, true. I
like
just hope people didn't think I was crazy or mean then.
not at all, no. Like, and if they did a little bit, whatever. That's
Right?
part of us. That's part of us. Sometimes there's good, there's bad. You know, little Deville in all of us.
True. We're all devils.
That's right.
What's your favorite performance?
My favorite performance. Ooh, that's a great question. And to be brutally honest, I think my favorite one is opening for Bosco.
I was about to say that, but I'm like, oh, let her speak.
Yeah, no, that one was just
Was that the one your family came?
no. Actually, my family did
Okay.
not even come for that. Yeah, they're retired in Portugal.
They're back in
They're
Portugal?
back in Portugal. They
Oh my
left me
god.
here in the snow.
I wish I could leave this country to somewhere cold, but it is what
It is what it is, right? Yeah, no, I that one was just
You
like an
went all out.
accumulation. I
Like
did.
I feel like I haven't watched any I haven't watched any of your performance, but that one was really like it was worth opening for Bosco. You know, there's some performers I see open for like um out of town queens, no shades, but like it's not what we're paying $60 for is like
Yeah,
for VIP to come see you stand at the spot or do like the same routine every time, you know? And I know a lot of people can testify that that performance was great. Like you're a great performer, like, and that is what we want to see. We want to see different people try to bring out the best. Because if you weren't given the opportunity, we wouldn't know you were that good, you know.
fair. Yeah.
So yeah, I just hope different people get more opportunities to like showcase the talent, you
And I
know.
think the other side of that too is when people are always being put in the spotlight, that they can also become complacent,
Exactly.
right? Not saying
Yeah.
that they aren't gorgeous and stunning and beautiful, but there is kind of a part of it where sometimes having that like wild card in there kind of just spices it up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like yeah.
Like yeah, of course, I'm a
I
fucking
don't
wild
want to
card.
say too much. Yeah, but I just hope they keep shuffling people because like I went to the last what's it called? Um Fresh Fruit,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and the performance there were really hot. Like they were really good. But you know, one thing I've noticed, you go to almost every performance, you keep seeing the same people. Someone in a previous episode said we're just trying to like bring back our friends or bring back people we know, you know, which is good because you wouldn't want to risk it. But there's always that greatness in giving someone a chance, you know.
True.
But yeah, that's by the way. Anywho, what's your least favorite performance? Oh, you want to
Can
say
I tag
something?
on to that?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like the what I find interesting is especially being part of the drag scene, and you know we're all supportive of the 2S
Yeah.
LGBTIA plus community. Yet there's the moments like this where rather than be inclusive and allowing other people to come be part of your tribe, it's just like, well, I'm just going to stick to my friends and the people I
Yeah.
know. I mean, like, hey, you do you,
Exactly. You do you. Like
but we're not saying that people aren't thinking what I'm thinking. If you know what I'm thinking.
man, right? I mean, everybody knows, so yeah.
But hey, whatever. Like, I'm not the one who's booking shows. I'm not the host. If you want me in your show, awesome. If not,
True, exactly, right? Like whatever makes you happy and whatever you think is best for the fans, you
yeah.
know? So yeah. So what's your least favorite performance?
My least favorite performance. Ooh.
Your debut?
No, actually.
Oh,
You ready
okay.
for this one? Okay. So after my debut, I competed in another pageant because I'm insane. But it was the amateur pageant.
Okay.
So
You really set high standards for yourself. That is great. You don't give up.
I did not give up. That is correct. I competed against two other queens or performers. I shouldn't label them as what they may or may not be.
Yeah.
But you know, I loved it. Actually, the whole outfit I made for Bosco was actually what I made for that amateur pageant.
Okay.
I even made like a giant ass like reveal dress out of silk bed sheets because I
Oh
was
my
just like, you know,
god.
I was just doing it. I did hair, everything. But what I never practiced was any choreography. I
So
bought.
you were just all over the
I was
place.
all over the place. I decided to buy these fucking stiletto thigh high boots that I was like gorgeous. They're sequin. They're just everything. I couldn't even walk in them. I could barely even dance in them.
I get it.
Right? And again, it was an online competition, so it was like we videotaped it. And again, I think my husband like got the divorce papers out again because we were on like take 3.
Oh
My feet were killing because the shoes are too small.
yeah.
I'm like falling all over the place. And if you actually watch that video, it's kind of hilarious because I think I fall actually twice in the video, and my ankles are look like they're like
Yeah.
45-degree angle, like about to break. I mean, I did it and I won.
Ooh.
But what does that say?
Don't give up, honey.
Don't give up. Doesn't matter how bad your ankles hurt.
How many
bad your
times
feet.
you fall,
That's right. You
always get up.
keep going. Yeah, no, that was probably my least favorite performance. It makes me cringe just watching it still. Yeah.
So what's it like being a queer nurse? Because I've been to the ER multiple times for things people. So I've been to the ER. Let's say there was a time I had like chest pain or something.
Yeah.
I went to the ER and they were like, "Oh yeah, it was COVID or it was something else." When I didn't have COVID, I had like a swollen ankle. They were like, "Yeah, it's COVID." And they wanted to do like a swab for me, and I'm like, "Oh my god, don't even touch me because I've waited for 8 hours
Yeah.
at the ER." So what exactly? Because you work there, so you're gonna have an, and it was the Royal Alex, so you're home.
I mean, I don't work in the emerge, but
Okay.
um,
What is the reason for that delay? Because I know I've observed that if you're there, it's gonna take forever. But if someone comes in with a blood or something, they attend to them fast
Yeah.
than you who have been there for hours.
so I think the part that most people kind of know but don't is there's a huge triage system. So based on your symptoms, your vital signs, blood pressure, heart rates, oxygen saturation, and like what you're coming in saying is going on with you are all kind of factors that puts into play. So that first nurse that you speak with, who does most of this stuff,
Yeah.
they kind of decide your pathway a little bit of how long your wait's going to be. That being said,
Oh
though,
my god.
no, seriously. That being said, though, is like for someone, for instance, who like let's say they're having chest pain, that's going to be an immediate like they're going to do a
Yeah,
diagnostic test,
ECG. Yeah.
ECG, right? But that ECG is also very telling on whether or not something needs to be done. So
True.
that's one of the biggest things. But I think the other thing is that emergency room might not be the place to be for a swollen ankle, or for a cold, or a runny nose. And I think finding out
True.
using appropriate pathways of how to get healthcare, one is super difficult because not everyone knows all the resources available.
Yeah.
And two, can be very time consuming because if you ever gone into any of these walk-in clinics, they're like they can also be hours
Yeah.
to see someone, right? But my biggest thing I'll always say, if you're unsure, call 811, which is HealthLink. You'll speak with registered nurses on the phone, and they can actually tell you whether or not
You should go to the.
whether or not your leaky penis is an emergency or if it's just go see your family doctor and get some antibiotics.
Yeah. True. Okay, fair enough.
Right?
But now I understand why we wait so long. Because there was a day I had like a swollen tonsil.
Mm.
Like I couldn't even speak. I couldn't breathe through my nose. Like I was like,
Yeah.
Even when I couldn't even swallow my saliva. So even when they wanted to give me was it Advil? They had to crush it.
Mm.
That was so bitter. Jesus.
Yeah, it's not meant to be tasted.
Yeah, exactly. Like I hated my life that day, and it's the type that the antibiotics don't cure, like the ones that go by themselves.
Yeah, there's
So that is crazy.
see, you should have asked for the suppository
Oh, what's that?
where they shove it up your ass.
Right?
Like, come on. There's always a rectal option. Always. I'm gonna lose my nursing license. Watch.
What's your take on what's happening in the States, like with all this books banning and no reading, no story time telling to kids and everything?
I mean, the States is just crazy. I am sorry.
That's why I will never go there.
Insanity. Like, I'll go visit, but like to live there, ugh. So that's problem number one. But to be honest, it's, I mean, for any gay person,
Yeah,
performer, trans, I feel so sorry for them because living in a state of fear, which I'm sure everyone can understand, especially if you grew up being closeted,
yeah,
that constant fear of being outed and potentially being threatened and being violated and murdered in some of these places that allow guns,
exactly.
it's
And
just
some of those things don't even reach the news.
100% based on what states there and what the climate is, right? If you're in a blue state, are they going to be talking about the drag queen that got beat up? Of course not, because they have, I'll show you some dog and cat videos and talk about the Republican that's running. But I think what's scarier is, as we've seen before, kind of what happens in the States tends to happen up here, and especially in
Exactly.
Alberta.
Canada copies.
Especially in Alberta.
Lord have mercy.
I know. I'm like, why do I still live here?
The only reason I'm still in the city is because of my work.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because I just need to move out. There is no love life here. Nothing is really in the city. Except for nothing is really in the city. So.
I mean, there's some good stuff in the
True.
city. Uh, but is there better stuff in other cities? Who knows?
Who
Maybe one day
knows?
we'll find out,
Right?
right? It'll be so exciting for you, Gabii.
One day you'll get a ring. Oh my god. You're
Am I gonna make you cry?
gonna make me cry. Cause what have I like so what are you gonna advise us single people to do, right? Because at this point I don't know what to do anymore, you know?
That's
I've
it.
tried the straight people, I've tried the queer people, like everything still ends up the same. I feel
Okay.
like people um these days find it hard to love. They're always looking for something else, which I'm not a fan of that. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that is it to a T. I couldn't even. I was even that person when I first came out. I was always looking to see what the next better, best thing
He
was.
is right.
And I think the other, like, you can, you'll tell I'm old. The other problem is social media.
Really?
Because you're always looking at what's better and best and what's out there. Because if you're always flooded with what the possibilities, what could be, what people could look like, what your life could be, I think it just minimizes what's actually happening around you. And that's, I mean, I've also been out of the dating scene for like 10 years now. So, like, what do I actually know? I'm sure people like hook up on TikTok.
Right. Exactly.
I don't actually know.
Yeah, they do. They do that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, just like Snatch Chat. I didn't have that. Like, there's probably a shit ton of nudes of me out there. My fault. I know.
I
But
mean, like when I was growing up, like when I was in high school,
yeah.
like yeah, I used to walk home from school. Yes, I used to meet some people, right? But now, like you said, the online platform is just crazy. If you don't have something flashy or attractive,
Mm-hmm.
no one really wants to talk to you. And like there's also this pressure of, oh, my friend is in a relationship. I need to get a relationship. Even if you're not happy in that relationship, but because you just want to look fly and everything.
Yeah.
I just feel well personally, like I tell people right up, like I don't have the strength, and I get bored easily. So if you're not talking about something sensible or how to be productive, how to be creative, I met this person who
Yeah.
doesn't have a job, and I was like, oh, why don't you move to the city and then get a job, You could also stay in my place for the main time. And right, how many people would do that?
Mm.
This person was like, oh yeah, I don't want to die. Who's killing you?
Wow.
And like since then, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just done. I've traveled to some cities for like weekends and everything just to see how the scene is.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's the same thing everywhere. You really can't tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
You can't relate, so that's
I can't
okay.
relate. I'm
Got
sorry.
a got a ring already.
I got a ring already. I nailed him down to the cross, and I'm showing him off. No, but kind of back to like the story of how I met my husband. I also had just literally dated some guy for a few months who ghosted me completely, and I didn't even know if he was alive or not.
Right.
I literally like went through the worst time of my, I mean, one of the worst times of my life. And at the point when I met Jared, I to be really honest, I was like 2 months sober. I was just trying to figure shit out. I had got kind of semi kicked out of nursing school, but not really. They just wanted me to take a semester off. Like I had all this shit happening to me. My
Oh my god,
my
yeah.
tia Haza passed away. She took her own life in Portugal, which is why I left the country. So there was a lot going on. But like again, I was like all the way down here.
But you still got up.
But I still got up despite my
Look at
broken
you
hand.
now.
And look at me now.
A Mrs. You go by Mrs. or Mister.
Pardon?
What are your Mrs. or Mister?
I'm whatever you want me to be. I don't mind.
Okay. Got a ring.
Oh, right.
What else did we talk about?
Tell me about you, Gabii. Where are you from?
Honey,
Down the block?
right.
In a back alley? That's how
I'm
I know
just
you.
like Jenny from the block. I don't know if I should say this or I should say before my interview because I know someone's gonna interview me.
Ooh. I like a little secret. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So I'm originally from Nigeria, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I moved to Manchester and then I moved to Canada to school.
Oh, like post-secondary or
Yeah, post secondary, yeah.
Cool.
So it has been an amazing journey, you know. I mean, I don't want to say too much so they don't cancel me on the show.
Wait, they're gonna cancel you on your own show?
Sorry, they don't cancel me. They can't, you know. Yeah,
It might be a hate crime.
yeah. Canadians are gonna come for me. Uh, what's it called? So yeah, it's been great. Like I remember my first year in college was fun, you know. That's when I joined my dance group,
Nice.
and then it literally took me away from my studies a little because I was so into it, you know. I'm this kind of hands-on person, but school was great. I made some great friends in my first year. You know, after my first year, it was like it dawned on me that you're here to study. You know,
Yes.
and then I started trying to get my life together because my first year we had a lot of group works, and I don't know if it's just a me thing, but groups don't really work for me.
I mean, if you can get carried, why not?
Exactly. No, that is different. If you get so like so one of the groups I was in, this was a marketing class, right?
Mhm.
And then I don't see why I should be taking some courses, but yeah, marketing helped, right? I don't know what it helped, but yeah, it helped with sales. Um, there was this group we were in. We were five, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're five. So, for our final presentation, the instructor was like, "You can present in person or you can present online, right?" So, it was about we were going to have presenters and we're going to have like a sales uh buyers and sellers, something like that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So two people agreed they were going to be um sellers, and I was like, I want to be a buyer because like if I'm a seller, no, if I'm a seller, you have to talk a lot, right? And I have an accent which most of them don't quite hear, you know. So
What accent?
exactly, right? According to some people, I have an accent. So I was like, I'm gonna be a buyer, so I don't talk too much, you know. While you guys can be the sellers and do your thing. So surprisingly, and we agreed that we're gonna like record it. We're not gonna do it in class. So on the day of recording, you know, I didn't do my laundry. I just went to the booth we booked, and then when I got there, and this was the time the iPhone XS or iPhone X just came out. You know, we still had iPhone 8 and iPhone 6. So this guy had a new iPhone, and we're gonna use his phone. And out of the five of us, two people were like best friends in high school. So like they brought in that crazy high school character to college, you know. And then two people. I was like, I want to be a seller. I want to be a buyer. I want to be a buyer, right?
Yeah.
And then surprisingly, they were like, oh yeah, these people are gonna be buyers. These people are gonna be sellers. And I was just like staring. And I was like, and they recorded the buyers first. And I'm like, oh, okay, I said I want to be a buyer. So what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
You're not giving me the phone to record. You're not, because the buyers were recording the sellers were recording the buyers. So I was just like sitting there doing nothing, you know.
You're
I
that
was
fifth person at an orgy who just sat in the corner and watched.
right. I mean, that's fun though. I'm just kidding.
Hey, any kink is a good kink.
Right. well, I was eating chips at the time, and one guy was just like, "Yeah, just keep eating your chips, right?" So I was like, why would you guys even call me to show up for this nonsense if you were not going to let me do anything, you know?"
For
So
sure.
the next day, I booked an appointment. Like when I got home, I booked an appointment with the instructor, and I was like, "Hi, just in case you see this presentation and you don't see me in the video, just know that this is what happened." And the instructor was like, "Yeah, that's how some things are, you know, that she's not even cool with some of her workers, but you just have to play along." And I'm like, so my first thing really toughened me up to like know more about some Canadians, you know,
How nice we are.
right? In a crazy way. Did I just say that? Yeah, I said that. Yeah, what's it called? And um yeah, for my sec, and we had what's it called? We had write up. My mark was the highest.
Fuck
And
yeah.
one of them was like, "Oh, why are you the highest? Was I supposed to be the lowest?" Like, it's crazy. I'm glad I over that, you know. And you get into the drag scene as well, and you see some certain things like you know already, right? So I'm like, it is what it is. Yeah. So yeah, I'm living my life now. I just want to get married.
You just want to get married. Well, like RuPaul says, you gotta love yourself before you can love anybody else.
I love myself already, honey. Like,
Okay, maybe you just love yourself too much.
okay, I will. You
Just
know, it's crazy because then you see people like at this point. Before I used to think about, oh yeah, I need to be with someone who's really high class and above me, right?
ooh,
Financially and everything.
ooh.
But now at this, and then there was a time I was like, yeah, I just want anybody. But then I'm like still going around in circles, like, what do I really want? So I think until I truly know what I want, then yes, I can make a leap into anything, you know. Because I just like I'm this kind of person who overthink things, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So if someone comes to tell me they like me, I'm like, are you coming to like me because of my body? Are you coming to like me for who I am? Why are you coming to like me because of you have a certain kink or fetish or whatever? Like, I think things through, and once I just have everything in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm out of here, you know? Yeah, it's a crazy world out
That's
there.
tough. It almost sounds like you're your own worst enemy.
True.
No, seriously though.
Well,
Like,
I mean, that is how I try to help myself too,
sure,
right? So I don't get into the hands of crazy people.
that's T, because there are some really nice people that are also a little bit ill.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I do, and the whole like you were saying, like, is it because of my body? Is it my skin type? Is it my accent? Right?
yeah.
We're always asking ourselves those questions, like, why is this person
Into
talking to
me,
me? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Especially if they seem too good to be true, right? And then they ask you to like buy them Bitcoin or something, and then you never hear from them again. No, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, and again, now in this dating scene, like, I feel like now there's too many fish in the seas.
It's so many. Like they don't even know what they want. Like I was speaking to a friend today, and as we're just talking, and she was like, "Yeah, my ex-husband," and I was like, "You were married?" And she was like, "Yeah, that the guy used to verbally assault her and everything,"
Oh
and I'm like,
no.
"Oh." So you see, those are the kind of things I'm trying to prevent because I'm always the type that always try to walk out from problems instead of solving it. I just like avoid it, you know,
Fair, yeah.
which is not the right thing to do for some people, but like,
Well, I think we all build walls around
yeah,
us, right? And obviously, just from our past and what's happened to us, and it's just hard to bring those walls down.
true.
But to be honest, I feel like once you find the right person, you're going to be willing to want to do that,
Oh my god.
right? And I think that's kind of where it always stems from is you got to find what you need inside, so that way you can
Yeah.
put that person inside of
Yeah, I went to see like I'm really serious on this love matter. You know, I went to see I went to see what's it called? A sidekick. And his psychic told me. Right?
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, his psychic said some things that were true about me, you know.
Okay.
And I don't know how that happened, or if that was just a way to get me. But um, this was in March, I think. Yeah, this was in March, and psychic was like in 7 months. You're gonna meet. She told me a certain.
Is it October? You're gonna find someone in October? That's a great month to find
You
people.
know, at first I was excited. I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" You know, but then my mom was like, "Where the fuck would you even go back?"
Hey, sometimes you just don't know, right?
Right? And then
I love that. That's amazing.
one thing the person said was true, right? Like they said, because one of the reasons why I also went there was because I just lost my job at the time, and I was like, "Oh my god, like what is next for me?" Right? So I was like, and the person told me, "Okay, something's about my jobs, and now the place I work is similar to what they told me. Like the department I work at is similar to
Ooh.
what they told me." So like it started clicking, and the person said, "You have to just keep going to spaces, like keep hanging out, like you're gonna see the person in an outdoor event, you know." So whenever I'm on this apps, I'm like, God, I'm trying to waste my time
Yeah.
again.
This isn't going to be the person. I can already tell.
But you know, but they told me this the skin type, the skin tone and everything,
Oh, wow.
facial hairs and everything, you know. And when I see people like that, I'm like, oh, this is a person, but it is what it
Well, that's what they call a self-fulfilling prophecy,
yeah.
right? Like,
True. Yeah, that's what they said. They said, we can only tell you, but it's up to you to have faith or whatever they said.
true. So it sounds like you're open to what does this person look like? Like, let's just like paint a picture.
They said the person is light skinned.
Light skinned,
Oh my
okay.
god, with beards and
With a
big.
beard?
So yeah.
Okay, I'm not that big.
You're married.
I mean, my hat, maybe if I put my pads on, that might work.
So tell us how you came about with those pads, because that is like a very creative thing. Like when people see, they're like,
Yeah,
they're stunned.
it's a moment. To be honest, Eureka, when she just kept talking about proportionizing. So I looked at myself and I'm like, I am so broad, and I don't have a small waist because I literally look like a rectangle if you were to see me out of drag.
Hey, you still found love.
I still, rectangles can find love too. Yeah, so I just was kind of trying to think like what kind of body shape can I have that kind of just makes it gives you that beautiful hourglass. And I literally had this like 5 inch like yellow foam that you would sleep on camping that my husband we stole from my husband's attic in his parents' house. And I did the whole saran wrap, duct tape, made Africa, put it on, cut it up with scissors.
Yeah.
I went to town like for a whole day just making my previous pads, and then when they finally finished and I put them on, they were massive, like just massive. But then that just became my brand. So when I finally bought some more professional pads, I just bought the biggest size that they had.
Oh my god. And how do you get those close to fitting? Like, do you buy them? Do you have a seamstress or tailor to help you, like designer to help you make the dresses, or do you buy an extra large? Because I don't know how the
5 extra large, okay?
really.
Usually that is the size I am buying. Yeah,
Oh,
I am buying big girl dresses. AliExpress mostly. I'm not going to gatekeep where I get my shit from. I've had one person, Kathy from Imagine Dragons, no, Dragons Creations. Ooh, take that part out. Fix that in editing. No, Kathy, she made a beautiful gown that I have, but that's kind of the only between that and Jenny Talia made me a nice like 2 piece. Everything else is just either Amazon, AliExpress, or a corset and a bra that I rhinestone the fuck out of.
oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Jenny's really good. Like most of my outfit was made by genitalia,
fuck yeah.
right?
No, she can put out some good work.
And Celine and some other people. Like we have a lot of talent in this industry, from the head people to the dress people to the choreo people and everything.
But like, isn't that like such a crazy thing? I don't think I ever thought, oh, if I want to become a drag queen, I saw like if I can paint a face, I'll be half decent, right? But like you have to dance, you have to be able to do choreo, you have to be. Sometimes some people have to be funny.
Fancy. Yeah,
Hair,
exactly. Yeah.
accessories, like
It is so expensive.
and
Like
it's
people,
expensive.
like when I sit back and think about everything I've spent
Mm.
within, I started drag like in
Oh,
February, March,
yes.
April, May. We're in May, right? 4 months. I've spent over 4K. It's crazy.
But it adds up so quickly.
Yeah, like you wouldn't even know, right?
Yeah,
Like the
100%.
tiny earrings you buy from the shoes you buy because these things are not expensive. They're not cheap. You know, they
Mm-mm.
keep adding up. Like and me when you you're trying to buy a material, you're paying someone else to sew it. You know, I have dancers.
Yeah.
I pay my dancers. You know, and I just ignore it.
Someone forgot to plug
Right.
in.
You know, I pay my dancers like anything I do on stage. Like I buy the outfits, you know, everything covered.
Jeez, can I dance for you?
Right? You know, it's a lot, you know. So yeah, it is what it is.
It is a lot, and like you said, either one option one is you pay people to do stuff, or option two is you learn to do it. But when you're also trying to come to make a number and figure out what you're gonna do for that one, and then you still have to do everything else just so you can do more stuff, and then you have a job, you have friends,
Exactly.
like, or if you work with a court and you're doing fundraising, if you have family that you have to talk to on the weekends, like, it doesn't take much to fill up your entire day.
Sure. Yeah.
Like when you're supposed to eat and shit.
You know, and it's just funny because like there are times you're like, oh my god, like you've bought this outfit, like this is what you're gonna wear, and then later on you're like, oh my god, like I don't like the outfit, you know.
I have so many dresses in my closet that I bought, being like, gorgeous, yes. And then I get it, and you're just like, fuck.
I don't like it,
I
right?
don't, yeah, like there's always something wrong, right? Or if the shape doesn't fit my ass properly. And then you're like, well, I can just make it a little bit better. Just a little bit better.
And there's some things I also buy that I haven't even worn or that aren't even my size, and I'm like, so what do I do with this now? Because I'm not the kind of person that like to return things.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
just buy them and keep. So now the next thing is think of selling it. I'm like, who's gonna buy this thing? There was a day I bought like this size 11 shoe. My size is size 14, 15, 16 for females, right?
Oh, girl.
Like my feet are really big.
14s. Woo.
You know, and then there was a day I bought the size 11.
Ooh.
And then like few days after, I could feel it in my feet. Like my legs were breaking.
Oh, no. That's the other thing. Being a drag queen woman is painful.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone ever tells you that, how much pain you're going to be in.
Yeah. Wearing heels. I never imagined I was gonna wear heels.
Heels, corset.
I don't even wear corset like
Oh, you haven't gone there yet?
no, I wear like the ghettos and everything.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. But
It's
still,
almost the same. Yeah.
it's still uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? Like it's and then you have a wig and you're sweating
And you have to
makeup in your
you know,
eye.
I noticed a performance, so I observe things very well. I noticed when you perform for Bosco, when you open for Bosco,
Yes.
there was a time you were just you were doing good at first, then towards the end you were just you didn't do bad, but what I observed, I might be wrong though, you know, you were doing great at first, but then towards the end you were like, let me just give them anything, you know, because you're on the floor,
Yes, I
you were
was.
repeating things. I'm like, okay, like either
Yes.
you exhausted because you came out with a fight, you came out with the heat.
Yeah, and that's the joy of choreographing only half the number.
True, right?
Or like
Yeah,
just being like, I
yeah.
can do it. Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. I'm glad you're just as analytical as I am about it, because I think the exact same. When I watch it, I think the same thing. I think that's kind of one part of my drag that with performing especially, that I have a difficulty doing, is like not just like keep doing more and more and more, and just like sometimes just standing there and just being in that moment
Yeah.
can be good enough. But yeah, no,
No, like you were still moving around, but I just was like, okay, at this point, either you're exhausted because there are times that's why most of my numbers I try to make sure they're below 3 minutes because I'm jumping, I'm doing things, you know, I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna fall? Like you're trying to breathe, you're trying to lip sync, you're trying to move at the same time. It's a lot of things, you know.
100%. Yeah.
For a plus size person, it is a lot of things. Especially I don't know about how seen people do it, like they do their thing, but like for me, it's a lot.
Oh, after that number, I literally sat down and like
Breathe.
literally breathed for almost 3 minutes. Like I did not practice my cardio before. Yeah, no. It was a
And I
struggle.
don't stretch. I don't go to the gym before I go to the shows. I just go there and do my thing.
You'll start stretching when your back starts hurting.
Yeah.
Trust me. Because now that I'm 30, everything fucking hurts.
You're 30?
I am 31.
You don't look 30.
Thank you.
You don't even look 29. You look like 24, 25.
No, not at all.
What's the secret again? Like, you have a lot of things to spill for us. How are we going to look young when we get to your age? How are we going to get married at an early age? Like, just give us these things. There's something you're hiding.
There's something I'm hiding. Well, I think it's in between my legs. I don't know. I don't think there's a secret or anything. I just be myself, do the best I can. Here I am.
Great. This was an amazing podcast.
Vodcast.
Yeah, it was
Can I
great.
have some vodka with my vodcast?
Right, next time. Or after the show, sorry. I got some over there.
Oh, yes! Let's turn it up.
Yeah, it was great having you. Would you like to say anything, or would you like to add anything for the fans?
To all the fans out there, why are you still watching? No, seriously, thank you so much, and Gabii for having me.
You're welcome.
And for like vlogging Edmonton drag scene, like we need to document what we're doing, and it's got to be out there because we're fucking doing it anyways.
Yeah.
People got to see it. So
True.
I appreciate that. And you're such a.
How can we find you? Right?
How to find me? Well, besides on the nearest corner. No, seriously, you can find me at the Tia DeVille on Instagram. And basically from there is the gateway drug to the rest of my entire dragity.
What about your upcoming shows?
Okay, so I got 2 major upcoming shows. June 17th, I'm working with the ICWR for St. Albert Pride. And then on June 18th, I'm going to be at Spotlight Cabaret with Ruby Hyman doing a Pride-themed brunch. And I do love a good brunch. Nothing.
Oh my god.
Mimosas.
You guys are making money.
There's always a way to make money.
Anywho, thank you all so much for watching and have a great time. See you in the next episode.